Hi friends, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a great day. My name is Ricky and this is Ricky's Puzzle and Book Chat. And today is a special day on the channel because today is the first time in my very first video where I do not show or work any Springbok puzzles. But what I have decided to do is pull a special company that no longer exists, a jigsaw puzzle company that lasted from 1971 to 1988. And that is the Great Eaton Jigsaw Puzzle Company. I absolutely love those images that they produced back then. Now some of them were on the bland side, but some of them were really quite spectacular. Now I do have only about 14 puzzles here, 14 or 15 puzzles, and I wanted to pull those to show you my collection of Eaton puzzles because I just think it's good to remember that at one time this company existed. And if you've got any Eaton puzzles, or if you actually worked any Eaton puzzles, if you've heard of Eaton puzzles, please let me know in the comments because I would love to hear your experience with those. And for those of you who do not know or maybe new to my channel primarily exhibits or shows Springbok puzzles only. I love the contemporary, the modern, and of course the vintage. Now these Eaton puzzles harken back to a time where they're definitely vintage. And you can tell by the pizza-shaped boxes that they came in. It was just a really wonderful period of puzzling, and as a rival to Springbok, Eaton actually was one of the best companies out there, and they really do have a fan base, and they really do have quite a following even today. But with that said, let me go ahead and show you some of my puzzles, and I hope you enjoy this. And again, like I said, if you have worked any Eaton puzzles, if you come across those, let me know. Now the first one I have is called Melon Melody, and look at the image on this puzzle, and look at the big box. I hope it can fit into the frame. I absolutely love this image, even though it's just a mundane a picture of melons, cantaloupes, grapes. This is actually quite spectacular and a fun puzzle to probably work on. I have not built this puzzle, but it's one of those that once I seen it, I had to have it. And if I remember correctly, I got this puzzle at a thrift store for like 50 cents. That's how, you know, some of these treasures you can come by in yard sales, thrift stores, but when I got it for 50 cents, I was sort of shocked. Now, hopefully it'll have all the pieces, but if it doesn't, you know, that doesn't bother me because it's still such a vintage treasure to save, and that's what I did when I picked this one up. Now, on the back of each Eaton puzzle, they actually will include like a little blurb about the puzzle or the picture image. Sometimes it's comical, sometimes it's in poetry form, and obviously it's just a fabulous puzzle company, and it's one of those where I wish they were still in existence. I really do. But again, this one's called Melon Melody. And look at that fun image. Isn't that fun? Now the next one I've got, and I'll try to lay this down gingerly. I love the image of this one. And let me look at the year on this puzzle, if it's got a year, so to give you some idea when they were produced. And this one was 1984. So this was actually, Melon Melody was coming towards the end of Eaton's production. And I believe, and anybody out there who knows better, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe towards the end, the last few years, they dropped the Eaton logo altogether. But still, they produced some wonderful puzzles. Now the next one I've got is called Unicorn Country, and this one is actually from 1982, but look at the image on that. Isn't that beautiful? Just a fantastical world. I love the colors of it. It's so alive and vibrant and just really pretty. Now it looks challenging. I have not put this one together. It looks difficult, but boy, it does look like it's going to be fun. Unicorn Country, and you can see the Eaton logo prominently on the side here. And when you come across these puzzles, you know, if you've never worked one, I urge you grab one. Now they are random cut pieces, just like their competitor Springbok was, and highly entertaining and fun puzzles. All right, the next one I've got is called Mosaic of Theodora, and it's basically a mosaic of a cathedral, I believe in Italy or so. And this one came out in 1971, so this one's quite old. I'm not sure. Is this one of the first ones? Yeah, it says 1971 on here. And oddly enough, I don't see the prominent logo of Eaton on the side. I do see it in a small blurb right here. It's called an Eaton Jigsaw Puzzle, the Treasure Collection. But anyway, look at that image. Now this puzzle looks difficult. But again, it was one of those that I found in a thrift store. Literally, I think it was like $1.50. Does it have all the pieces? I don't know. Does it bother me? No. I just love this image. It's going to be beautiful when it's built. And here's the blurb on the back. I hope that light's not too much of a glare on it. Yeah, Eaton. I love these. How do I say this? The boxes were much bigger than they should have been. But now when you see a box like this in a thrift store or in a yard sale, you know you're looking at some vintage puzzles. Now this puzzle is really, really pretty and a special one. It came out in 1980. It's called Fun Time, and it's based on a Norman Rockwell image. Look at that. Children at play in the playground. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful, beautiful puzzle. And this one doesn't have anything on the back. But again, look at that Norman Rockwell image. And I generally love Norman Rockwell art. But isn't that beautiful? Those trees look like it's going to be dreadful to put together. Now the next one I have is another Norman Rockwell image, and it's just so sweet. It's from 1980 also. It's called Tender Loving Care. And these puzzles are generally 500 pieces. Well, I believe all of them are 500 pieces. And on the side it says an Eaton Jigsaw Puzzle from the Treasure Collection. But look at this image. Isn't that sweet? A little dog with her puppies and her best friend. And I should say a little boy with his best friend. Isn't that sweet? Just love it. Now all this white background looks like it's going to be murder to put together. But I'm up for the challenge. So pretty. Just absolutely love that. And the back of this puzzle doesn't have anything on it either. And here's the Eaton logo that is prominent on the side. Now, I'm not a historian and don't really know that much about Eaton puzzles and the history of them, but my understanding is towards the middle, like 84, 85, 86, Eaton was bought out or acquired by another company. I want to say, I believe it's Berkshire Stationery. I'm not sure, and obviously if I'm incorrect on that, I apologize. But I just find it very fascinating that at one time this company produced a lot of wonderful puzzles. Now the next one I got is from 1980, and it's called Mixed Floral, 500 pieces. And look at this puzzle. Isn't this beautiful? Let me make sure I got it up right. I can't tell. Okay, I think it's up this way. This is the way it should actually go. But look at that image. Isn't that beautiful? Again, I think this will be one of the most challenging but satisfying puzzles once it's completed. Absolutely beautiful. I don't have anything on the back. Real special. Love the colors of that. And these puzzle boxes are really good and sturdy. Now this one I really adore. It's called Music Makers, and it is from 1980. and it's basically musical instruments. And look at that. Maybe that's the way it should be turned. Isn't that neat? I just love this kind of layout where all these instruments are laid out and so pretty. And on the back of it, it actually has a reference sheet of all the musical instruments on the front. And I love the background of musical notes. Love that. And here's the Eaton logo. And there are some really diehard fans of Eaton Puzzles. Let me wipe the dust off this one. It was up on the top shelf in my puzzle library. This one is really fabulous, but I don't know if I will ever be able to put this together because most of it's black. It's called Halley's Comet, The Return, 1985 to 1986. Now, I was a young man, teenager, I guess, in the 1980s, and I remember when Halley's Comet flew over. I remember going out in a dark night in my grandparents' backyard, and I could see a faint glow of it. And it was out there for many months as it was going past the in the solar system. But anyway, this is the image of it, Halley's Comet. And it was quite a celebration when it would come around. And I believe it comes around every 76 years or so. And actually on the back of it, it says here, for most of us, this will be our first and only chance to view with the naked eye this luminous visitor from outer space, for it will not return until the year 2062. Yeah, so I've probably seen it my one and only time. God willing, I may be able to see it again. Beautiful puzzle. But look at all this black. I think this is going to be a nightmare. And since this is a random piece cut puzzle, oh, dreadful. Let me open it up and actually see some of the pieces here. Okay, got it in the bag. And these are very typical of a random cut. And it's very similar, not quite, similar to my Springbok puzzles. And let me just pull a few strange pieces out here for you to look at. Now this is a black piece. Can you see that? And it has green backing, and they're nice and thick, nice and thick. And they've got a gloss to them, but that's okay, it doesn't bother me. I think I might put this up and make this as a challenge to work on. It's going to be fun, I believe. Well, I know it's going to be fun. But that's Halley's Comet, and this one, if I didn't mention it, came out in 1985. And yeah, a wonderful image of a puzzle. Now the next one is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. A very fantastical fantasy type world. It's called Beyond the Rainbow. And it came out in 1983. And it says here an Eaton Jigsaw Puzzle from the Treasure Collection. And it's got 1980 Textron Inc. So I'm not sure if all these say Textron Inc. But this name sticks out. But I believe they later were acquired by Berkshire Stationery. But anyway, this is called Beyond the Rainbow. Make sure I got the image up right. Isn't that beautiful? A fantasy world you can get lost in when you built it. You can just dream, let your imagination carry you away. And it says on the back, Beyond the Rainbow. This is a puzzle to make you wish on. It offers endless surprises to those brave enough to dare its Pirate Cove and Lightning Mountains. Visit the 6 kingdoms in this world where moon and sun, darkness and light exist in one sky. Side by side, this is the stuff of fairy tales, specifically designed to enchant all who take the time to learn its secrets. Beautiful image. Love it. Now the next one reminds me of the Springbok Hallmark years, and it's called Playful Things. It came out this one came out in 1981, And it's just a picture, a photo of inanimate objects, just a bunch of toys arranged. And so sweet. Look at that. I really do love Eaton Puzzles, and I miss it. I wish it was still around. And that's why I often say, you know, if you have a favorite puzzle brand, support them. Buy from them. Because you never know, this may be the last year for them. This is called Playful. Or, I'm sorry, Playthings. Yeah, Playthings. And on the back, it's got a little poem about the toys. I love the colors of this. We got Raggedy Ann and Andy, a giant crayon, a lion, stuffed lion. Sweet image. Now the next one looks like it would be dreadful to put together. It's called Water Lilies, an Eaton Jigsaw Puzzle, The Treasure Collection, 1976. And I don't see the Eaton logo on the side of it. So I guess it changed intermittently throughout the years. But let me turn it up right for you. All I see is a sea of green. Who out there would love to build something like this? I love these old puzzles, these old vintage puzzles, because as the years go by and the decades go by, we run the risk that we're going to start encountering one and only remaining copies. You know, yes, there's probably thousands of these copies out there, but I'm sure for some Eaton puzzles, there's only a few. And we just don't know it yet, because we really don't know the extent of where all those puzzles ended up. And for people who pass on, God bless them, and their family inherits these puzzles, they may not know the value of them or even care. Like I said, I got one of those Eaton puzzles for 50 cents. So to the person selling it, it had no value. But to me, I'm like, wow. That's priceless. I'm going to grab it. And on the back, it's got this poem about water lilies. Let me know if you have any of these copies or any of these puzzles that I'm showing. And maybe when you're out in the thrift store, you keep your eyes peeled and you look a little closer and you'll find one. I remember going to a yard sale several years ago, and I looked up in the garage because I can see into the garage, and they had an Eaton up on the shelf. I said, I know it's not in your yard sale, but would you be willing to sell that puzzle? And he said, well, how much you think it's worth? I was like, maybe, I don't know, $10 to $20. He goes, sold. And I grabbed it. And it was real fun. But this puzzle here is really special because I love puzzles of puzzles. And this one came out in 1982, and it's called Puzzle Plus. And there's the Eaton logo. But look at this. Isn't that fun? It's a picture, a colorful picture of puzzle pieces. And when I seen this, I was like, I gotta have that. I gotta have that. That's special. And on the back of it, just has the diagram of the puzzles that's on the front. But I really love the colors of this. It's really, really beautiful. Now this one's special because it actually is still sealed. And I can't wait to work on this one. It's called The Scout, Friends or Enemies. And it's a painting, it's a famous painting that is actually hanging in a museum somewhere, if I can see. Frederick Remington art. And let me show you the image. Now I'm not sure if it's just the picture frame itself with the picture or if it's actually the blue in the background of it. I hope it also has the blue in the background. But it is sealed up and I can't tell. I haven't opened it up. I guess I could Google out there any kind of images that this puzzle may have and see if it does actually come with blue as part of the background. But it's called The Scout, Friends or Enemies, and it is from 1971, so this is one of the older ones. And it actually says here, copyright 1971, Eaton Paper Division of Textron. So Textron must have been the company that pretty much ran Eaton Puzzles, and then I believe, like I said, it was sold off in mid-80s, and then they ceased, the new owners ceased production of Eaton Puzzles. I hope that glare isn't getting that from that light, but isn't that nice? It looks like it's going to be very difficult and challenging, but I'm up for it. I'm up for it. The Scout. The next puzzle I've got is called Paperweights, and it's from 1984. It says Textron Inc. on the side here. But I love this. Love this image of paperweights, just a simple image of objects together, arranged in a colorful manner. And again, it reminds me of the Springbok under the Hallmark years, when they would just take pictures of inanimate objects, sometimes a hamburger, sometimes a pizza, sometimes a doll, sometimes a collection of dolls, and throw that and make it into a puzzle image. And on the back of it, it says here, paperweights. The old-fashioned charms of beautiful paperweights, a delicate art to be reflected on in between love letters. These eye-catching little extravagances still will provide hours of pleasure discovering their inner beauty. I've got a collection of paperweights, actually. But I love that. Let me show you the back. Isn't that pretty? Pretty image. Let me open it up and see. And it's in a bag too. But it has the green backing. Backing, random cut pieces, and maybe that's why I love it so much. It's so similar to its competitor, its rival Springbok in the day. Now the next one is a food image. It's called Temptation, and it's from 1985. And look at this strawberry cheesecake. Is that decadent or what? I love this. So sweet and fun. Beautiful. Simple. Simple image of a cheesecake with its strawberries and strawberry glaze. Enough to give hours of puzzling pleasure, right? And on the back, temptation. Oh, the calories. In just one slice of luscious strawberry cheesecake, you could even the most serious dieter resist just one little nibble? No. There it is on the back. And there's the Eaton logo prominently on the side. Oh, wow. Look at these pieces. I love it. Again, another black piece. Can you see that? Look at the color, the brightness of the red. Isn't that sweet? But yeah, I think what I'm going to do in my next video is actually put together one of these Eaton puzzles. And you might be thinking, especially those who usually view my channel, like, what? Ricky's gonna work on a non-Springbok puzzle? Yeah, I definitely am. And like I said, I mainly showcase Springbok at this point because I love my Springboks. They're my favorite puzzle company. I enjoy the images, I enjoy the art, I enjoy the random cut pieces, I enjoy the 1,000 cuts, the 500, the 300, the 400. I love those puzzles. But like I said on my channel before in other videos, is that what I plan to do is showcase my Springbok puzzles primarily, but also I will be showcasing puzzle companies that no longer exist, like Eaton. And I'm always on the lookout out for those puzzles. And, you know, if you've never put together an Eaton puzzle, maybe you can now have one on your radar to find, you know. And I know they have a lot of these puzzles on eBay. That's a great source. And some of them can be very expensive. There's one out there that I want. It's about $500. I'm like, oh gosh, maybe in another lifetime. But I just absolutely love my Eaton puzzles. They're so fun. And it's sad that they no longer exist. I just wish that the company that took over Eaton in 1980s, if they still exist, which I think they do, I really wish they would revive the line. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be spectacular if they just released one limited edition? Look at this sweet angels. Released one limited edition special puzzle from Eaton, just for nostalgia's sake. Just for nostalgia's sake, you know. But anyway, I know I'm starting to repeat myself, but I just wanted to make sure I showed you my Eaton collection as I reach under the table to grab them. Wanted to show you my Eaton collection and how fun they are and the images that they had at the time as one of Springbok's main rivals. And definitely let me know if you put together, here I am repeating myself, let me know if you put together any Eaton puzzles, Springbok puzzles, what your favorite puzzle brand is. Oh, and let me know of a favorite puzzle company that no longer exists that you think, oh, I just love finding these. I would love to see this company come back around. Anyway, with that said, I hope you had a great day, and thank you so much for watching. And definitely, for those out there who have not, I would love it if you subscribe, left me a comment, and hit the little like button. And maybe even share my video with somebody who you think might like these puzzles. Anyway, with that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.